The night Evelyn met Harry, the rain was thin and cold, like it had been waiting all day for a reason to fall. She stood beneath the weak shelter of a bus stop, coat pulled tight, fingers numb, eyes fixed on the road as headlights slid past without slowing. She had missed the earlier bus. Again, it felt like a small failure, one of many she carried quietly, stacked inside her chest where no one could see. Harry arrived without sound. He did not rush. He did not look lost. He simply stood beside her, close enough that she felt the warmth of another person but far enough not to intrude. He shook water from his hair and smiled, just slightly, as if the world had already told him something kind that she had not heard yet. "You look like someone who waits a lot," he said. Evelyn glanced at him, startled, then laughed despite herself. It came out soft and tired. "I do," she said. "I always have." That was how it began. No spark, no sudden certainty, just two people standing in the rain, waiting for something that did not arrive on time. They took the bus together, sat across from each other, spoke about nothing important, weather, work, a street musician they both liked but never stopped to listen to long enough. When she stepped off at her stop, Harry stood too. "This is me," she said. He nodded. "Me too." He walked her to her building. Not because she asked, not because he insisted, just because it felt right to keep walking while she walked. At the door, they lingered. The rain had stopped. The night felt open, unfinished. "I'm Harry," he said. "Evelyn." They did not exchange numbers. They did not promise anything. They simply said goodbye and went inside, each carrying the strange warmth of a moment that refused to fade. For days after, Evelyn thought of him without trying. His voice returned to her while she folded laundry. His smile appeared while she stirred soup. It bothered her how easily he slipped into her thoughts, how gently he stayed. She told herself it was nothing. Her life was built on safety, on plans that did not break, on walls that did not crack. She had learned early that love could be careless, that it could leave without warning, that it could ask for everything and give back emptiness. So she chose steady things, a stable job she did not love, an apartment that felt more like a shelter than a home, a future that was quiet and predictable and lonely, but safe. Harry did not belong in that future. They met again by accident, or so it seemed. A small cafe near her office. She spilled coffee. He offered napkins. Their eyes met and stayed there longer this time. This time, they smiled like people who recognized something rare. They talked for hours, about childhood memories that still hurt, about dreams they had buried, about fears they never said out loud. Harry listened like every word mattered, like her pauses were part of the story, not interruptions. When he spoke, his voice carried weight, not loudness. He had lived a life that did not promise comfort. He worked odd jobs, moved often, trusted easily and lost often. "I don't know how to build a safe life," he said once. "I only know how to live honestly." That should have scared her. Instead, it pulled her closer. They fell in love slowly, then all at once. It was in the way Harry reached for her hand without looking. In the way Evelyn started to laugh again, really laugh, like her body remembered how. With him, the world felt less sharp. But love, she knew, was not the same as safety. Harry's life was unstable, his work unpredictable, his future unclear. He lived in moments, not plans. He believed things would work out, not because they always did, but because he refused to live in fear of them not doing so. Evelyn's friends warned her. "He's risky," they said. "You deserve stability. Love isn't enough." She nodded. She listened. She understood. At night, lying beside Harry, listening to his breathing, she wondered if they were right. She imagined a life where she stayed with him and everything fell apart. She imagined another where she left him and everything stayed quiet. Both futures frightened her. Harry never asked her to choose. He never promised more than he could give. He never pretended to be someone else. That made the choice heavier. One evening, the power went out during a storm. Candles flickered, rain hammered the windows. Harry told her about his mother, how she loved fiercely, how she chose a man who could not protect her from hardship, how she died young, worn down by love that burned too bright. I don't regret her choices, he said, but I understand why others might. Evelyn felt something tighten inside her. Later that night, while Harry slept, she sat awake and stared at the ceiling, listening to the storm, feeling the weight of her life pressing down. She had been taught that love should be safe, that it should feel like certainty, that it should not ask for leaps, only steps. But with Harry, love felt like standing at the edge of something vast, beautiful, and terrifying. She began to pull away, not all at once, just enough to test if she could. She answered messages slower, she made excuses, she chose overtime over evenings together. Harry noticed. He did not accuse, he only asked once, quietly, if she was okay. I think I need space, she said. He nodded, pain flickering across his face before he hid it. I understand, he said. That hurt more than anger would have. Weeks passed. The city moved on. The seasons shifted. Evelyn tried to return to her safe life, to the routines that once held her together. But something was missing. She no longer felt protected, only empty. She realized then that safety without love was not safety at all. It was just survival. She thought of Harry constantly, of his laughter, of the way he looked at the world like it still held surprises. One night, she walked past the bus stop where they first met. The memory struck her so hard she had to stop. The rain began again, thin and cold. She understood then that love had already changed her, that even if she walked away, she would never be the same. She went to find him. He was leaving, a job in another city. Temporary, he said, but everything about it felt like an ending. I didn't think you'd come, he admitted. I didn't think I would either, she said. They stood there, the air thick with words unsaid. I can't promise you safety, Harry said softly. I never could. I know, Evelyn replied. Her heart pounded. Fear rose like a wall. Every lesson she had learned screamed at her to stay where she was. But love stood in front of her, waiting, not demanding. I don't want a life that feels empty, she said, even if it's safe. Harry looked at her, eyes shining, afraid to hope. Are you sure? He asked. She took a breath. No, she said, but I choose you anyway. They left together. The road was not kind. There were months when money was scarce, nights filled with doubt, days when fear whispered that she had made a mistake. But there were also mornings filled with light, shared laughter, a sense of being alive she had never known. Love did not protect her from pain. It taught her how to endure it. Years later, Evelyn would look back and understand that choosing love over safety did not mean choosing suffering. It meant choosing truth. Their life was not perfect. It was not secure. It was not guaranteed. But it was real. And in the end, when she held Harry's hand and felt the quiet strength of a bond tested and proven, she knew she had not been reckless. She had been brave, and that, she realized, was a different kind of safety.